Join the club. It's the Club World Cup on Footy Prime. Everybody, join the club. It's the Club World Cup on Footy Prime. Everybody, join the club.
Again.
It's the Club World Cup.
Come on, Sarah. Come on, Sarah. I know you're going to do it.
You know you want to. You know you want to. I know it's not your Latino music. You get to see Sara Poraria is just, if it's not Latin, she doesn't care about it, unfortunately. So I'm sure JC can throw in some Latin beats maybe tomorrow. Next time he brings Sara on. It's Sara Poraria joining us here on Footy Prime, our Club World Cup mini pod edition. Amy's here and Craig's here and Jimmy's here. I'm Sharms, and of course you can watch the Club World Cup for free. Free, Craig, free on DAZN. Just
can't believe it.
Sign up. It's really easy. You can watch every single match free. That's DAZN, DAZN.com. Sarah's been covering this tournament in depth from the States for SportyTV. Sarah moved to Madrid. When was that? About a year ago now, Sarah?
Almost a year ago. A year and a month now.
I can't believe you've lasted so long.
I can.
Whatever, oh my God. Dream move to Madrid. And now you're on the road covering this tournament. Yesterday, I mean, this thing kind of heated up about over the weekend, I think, this tournament overall. It became, to me, like real, proper, some great games and drama. Yesterday's matches, Porto, Al Ahly, 4-4, won a match. Into Miami, we're bossing Palmeiras, and then back come the Brazilians, 2-2, the final there. Atletico, they beat Botafogo 1-0. So Botafogo sneak in. And Seattle, they fell to PSG, no surprise there, 2-0. Let's start with Inter Miami, shall we, Sarah? Here, I know you follow them somewhat closely. If you don't follow Sarah on Instagram or Twitter, you have to, because she's a brilliant reporter. Number one, I will give you. You're fantastic, Sarah. You really are.
Thanks.
But you're also the biggest fangirl of the Messi. I think I've met him. And there was one clip you showed last week, and you're on the pitch doing a report, and he just walks behind you, and I can pretty much see you melt. And lose your shit entirely. Listen, you've been around professional footballers for a long time. It's no big deal for you, but it's something about the little fella, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll composure out the window in that one. Like, I've seen Messi also like 7 times, and this was 2 meters away. This changed everything. And also there was something in the atmosphere. First game of the Club World Cup, Miami was bopping. You had Kaká, Roberto Carlos in the building. Beckham was there. The environment was just great. And then you have Messi coming out, and I lost my shit, as he said.
Are you surprised by Inter Miami? A bit inconsistent in MLS this season, but the way they've taken to this tournament, and they probably should have won yesterday until Palmeiras, turned on the Jets. But they've been extremely impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think most people had them going through to the next round when you look at the likes of Porto. And then Al Ahly has been performing really well too. Probably a lot of people didn't know much about the Egyptian side, but 12 Premier Leagues in Egypt's league, and they're the best performing team over there. And they gave Miami a bit of a run for their money in that first match, 1-1. So this group was really difficult. And I think, because of Miami's form in MLS this season, they have, a lot of people wrote them off, even with Lionel Messi. But this game probably was going to be their hardest, and they dominated this match until the last 10 minutes. And I don't know if you guys saw on socials or were watching the game, but Messi walked off this pitch fuming, and I would be too, because you had this match in your hands. You're up 2-0. And then you let it go in a matter of minutes, and now you have to go and play PSG when Botafogo was waiting there for you. So it's going to be difficult for them, because we're talking about the Champions League winners right now.
Mm-hmm. Sarah, what about if you compare kind of MLS's standing in world football, like not just Inter Miami, but the other MLS teams in this competition, even though, say, Seattle, LAFC haven't done as well? Do you think that the perception of MLS is changing a little bit throughout this Club World Cup?
Amy, I wish I could tell you yes, but I don't think so. I was at Chelsea and LAFC, and I mean, Chelsea dominated LA, and I don't even think they were at 100%. Like, they didn't even look like they were going in for those 50-50 challenges. They kind of had, one foot on the brakes, it seems, because they didn't need to go full force. We've obviously seen Seattle exit the tournament now. I mean, Inter Miami, I think, is obviously different because of all these former Barcelona players, and they have this polarizing effect about them. But I unfortunately think that this tournament has been eye-opening for the South American teams. If those that weren't watching anyone in, the Copa Libertadores, Brazil, Argentina, but I think that it's given more of an eye-opening to the South American sides as opposed to MLS, which is unfortunate, but they aren't really performing well.
So you mentioned that PSG are waiting Leo Messi, and I know I've been reading a lot of reports this morning and people saying, especially PSG side of things, saying, well, we're paying Messi, you can't take nothing for granted. With respect to Inter Miami, I think PSG can probably take them for granted, can't they?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think the biggest thing for PSG is the depth in their squad and the youth that they have on this team. I mean, when you look at how many youngsters they have, the pace that's going to allow, and also the weather condition, guys, have been horrible here. Like, it is so hot. We're talking like high 30s, serious humidity, and a ton of sun. And as you guys know better than me, half of these pitches aren't full grass. So a lot of them have the artificial turf underneath, which absorbs so much heat from the sun and then radiates it back onto the players' feet. So the players have been complaining about the weather conditions. I'm sure you guys have heard. So, I mean, when it comes to them taking on PSG subs are going to play a massive factor, as well as, like I said, the young guys. You're looking at Vitinha right now, João Pedro. I mean, Desiree Doué has been an absolute shining star for PSG this season, and I think that's where they'll get the better of Inter Miami. But that being said, if Messi decides to have a game, we can't write this guy off. He's incredible. So let's see. But of course, the odds favor PSG.
I think in this game, the difference in terms of the depth of squad, the talent that was on display, was made worse by the fact that Seattle's sporting their 20th anniversary kit. That's a nod to the NASL past with the green tops and then the blue bottoms. What are they doing?
You weren't a fan, eh? You weren't a fan?
Not a fan at all. No.
Green and blue don't go?
No.
Blue and green should never be seen.
Except in the washing machine. There you go, Forrest.
That's not a saying.
I'm on the same page. Yeah.
Is it really?
It's a
green
saying.
And blue should never, stretch. I don't know. I didn't mind it at all. I wasn't watching them. And they weren't really involved that much in the game, to be honest with you. It didn't have much of the ball. It was mainly PSG. I think, was it like 60% possession? But Craig, I mean, I give Seattle this much. They came out to support the team. It was packed the stadium. Didn't sound very loud, mind you. But it was certainly packed, which is, another check mark for this tournament.
Yeah. I mean, Seattle area is a hotbed. It always has been going back 30, 40 years for soccer. That area is just very well supported, and they do support the team very well. And it was exciting. I thought they were brilliant. They were singing at the end. They knew what they were up against. And, for a lot of parts of the game, they sort of held their own, but the quality was just evident that PSG are just on a different level.
Yeah. Hey, Sarah, I think the big story, though, yesterday was probably Atleti bowing out, crashing out. No one had that before the season, the tournament started, right?
6 points.
Do you know what? As somebody who worked closely with Atletico Madrid this season, I can't say I'm that surprised. Maybe.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that consistently underperforms. I mean, they got knocked out to Real Madrid in the Champions League and Barcelona in the Copa del Rey in the same week. Like, Diego Simeone, as much as he had so much to football culture, and he's been with Atleti since, I think, 2011, and they coincide with one another so well. I do question if it's time for the Argentine to step aside, because in that tenure he's had, I think, 2 La Ligas and 1 Copa del Rey. I mean, they need to be doing better. And exactly, we're talking about a Club World Cup right now, and you're Atletico Madrid, the 3rd best team in Spain, and you're getting knocked out in the first round. I mean, it's shocking, but I think also their performance in yesterday's game as well, or the day before. All the days are blurring, guys, but they didn't even look hungry. I think that was the biggest thing. I mean, there's obviously the controversial call against Julian Alvarez, whether that should have been a penalty or not. Would that have changed the momentum of the game? But I didn't feel like they really wanted it, and they needed to win by 3 goals. And it's just, this is the Atleti way, unfortunately. I feel like this is kind of what I've learned working closely with this team this season. And something needs to change, because the players are brilliant and they should be doing better than this.
Isn't he still on the most? Sorry, Sharms, just as it pertains to Simeone, Sarah, isn't he still on like the highest wages for a coach in world football? So he's not stepping aside anytime soon. That's got to come from somebody else.
Absolutely.
How is he to deal with? Do you deal with much with him? Have you interviewed him yet?
Well, I've done press conferences with him, but not one-on-one. I mean, he's an absolute like cartoon. I mean, he's brilliant because he's so theatrical and he's so passionate. And I give him credit for that because he loves Atleti so much. But when you look at, like I said, the honors that he's had with this side over his, plus 10 years at Atletico, I think there should be more. I mean, we obviously know, I think it was that 2016 Champions League final where they were up against Real Madrid. Like, he could have had a Champions League final, fell short. It's just constantly Atleti falling short. So you do wonder, but Amy makes a good point. If he's the most paid manager, why is he stepping aside from that?
Yeah. Dubs, I know you do want to talk about one particular play from this match, and it was the Antoine Griezmann goal.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of Griezmann, and then you saw the individual brilliance, like even though it was too little too late, you saw these moments from Atleti. So like the fact that they weren't able to muster more than just that at the very end. So they score in the 87th minute, they still need two more. Like where's the kind of the intrinsic motivation to want to perform like from that collective? And you saw Simeone on the touchline after that being like, come on, let's go. But you're 3 minutes from the end of normal time. If you weren't able to muster it up until that point, then you're probably not going to be able to get it done. But those two guys who continually do it, I think for Atleti, that was good to see, but they don't move on as a result.
Is Alvarez staying there, Parraria? I know there's been some talk about him moving to Merseyside. Just saying, there's been some.
Well, I mean, I would love for him to come to Barcelona. There's no way. I think he's staying for now. I mean, he seems to be quite happy there, but there is some obviously talks of Griezmann and what's happening with him. Actually, Griezmann coming to MLS would, I think, make Amy very happy. And he loves the United States. He loves the culture here. So I wouldn't be shocked if he comes over to, like an LA or something, or dare I say an Inter Miami? Is it possible? Are they allowed? Can they break more rules? I don't know. But it seems like Julian is going to be staying with Atleti, I think, for another season at least. They obviously have a very kind of tight Argentinian connection going on with him and the coach and Simeone's son. And there's a few there that it seems to be working well in that sense. So I think he'd give it another season. And, Liverpool just signed Florian Wirtz, James. So relax, take it easy because you didn't need him and now you have him. So
hey, we lost freaking Trent.
Okay, I don't think that's that big of a loss. Have you seen him playing?
Hey, listen, he's just arrived for crying out loud, Sarah.
I think we better push him to the midfield and then we'll see a bit more from him.
Are you looking forward to interviewing him? I'm sure you get your chance.
I've tried to get him twice now for the 2 Real Madrid games I've had. I got Bellingham the other day, but I really wanted to get Trent because apparently he's also fluent in Spanish and I wanted to see how that was going. But I'm trying. I think I'll be at Real Madrid and Man City if that game ends up going through in the round of 16. So hopefully we can try then. But I do want to talk to him. He looks still like he's obviously still trying to fit into the squad, and it's not gonna happen overnight. He's had 2 games. I think we have to give the young man some grace, but he does look a little lost still on that right flank, and it's gonna take some time. We'll see how it goes.
What's your take on just Trent on the back of his kit?
The back of his kit? Yeah,
like just the Trent.
Oh, just his name. I mean, as opposed to Alexander-Arnold, I guess. I don't know. None of that. I don't really think any of those are great names. I think, because he obviously. Sorry?
Well, there is the names he was given.
No, I know, but it's such a mouthful, isn't it? Alexander-Arnold, and he had like 66, and there was a lot going on, and now he's just Trent. And I mean, I think, when you move from Liverpool to Real Madrid, this is such a major move for him. Obviously, I feel like he's also going through maybe a little bit of a personality change. I don't know, like this is massive for him. So maybe he's trying to reinvent who he is because he's been so tied to Liverpool because he's come from, the youth academy. He's from Liverpool. So maybe he's just trying to differentiate himself a bit. I don't know. I don't have much of an opinion, but I could assume maybe that's why. What do you think, Amy?
Yeah, I think I like that. I hadn't thought about it in that sense. Maybe a quarter life crisis instead of a midlife crisis, something like that.
Quarter life crisis, going to Real Madrid. I wish those were my problems.
I know. Yeah. Massive salary. What will they do?
Sarah, you did go from Toronto to Madrid, right?
So, that's true.
And you seem to have not changed too much. A big time Charlie-ish, maybe, but not too much. Overall, you're still the same priority. Thanks. We enjoyed this, Sarah. We'll get it back on, but enjoy the games, enjoy the travel. But enjoy the matches. You're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you so much, guys. It's been such a pleasure to talk to all of you and see you all again. And yeah, let's hope we talk soon.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks,
guys.
Parraria. Make sure you follow Sarah on Twitter, on Instagram. She's a great follower, and she knows her football. Like, I got to know Sarah about 2 years ago now. She knows her football, and it might be the biggest fan that I know, actually, of European soccer. And got her dream move to Madrid, covers all the big matches there. So good for Sara Poraria. Anything else you want to add about the yesterday? I mean, Craig, the 4-4 Porto match against Al Ahly, which sees Porto crash out, but it sees, I'm assuming, Stefan Eustáquio make his way to Canada now, just in time for the quarterfinals, wherever that may be. But what a crazy match it was.
Crazy match. It could have been even higher score. There was chances galore. And I thought, yeah, it was that group. I was trying to keep an eye on both games, and then we were texting each other, and next thing I know, it's 4-3. Next thing I know, it's 2-2. What do you mean it's 2-2 in Miami? Like, what?
I was this close to getting my computer so I'd have like the two screens. And I was like, no, I'm not going to be that person. So I was just hopping back and forth, asking you guys what you were watching. And I think I settled on the Miami match. Yeah.
Yeah. It was downstairs, the computer, I had to get out off my couch. You know?
I don't remember a group last final day in any tournament being that topsy-turvy in the last day.
Yeah.
Anything could have happened.
I tell you, those European teams have been taught a bit of a lesson, aren't they? Because these Brazilian teams in particular are hungry, and they want this thing, and they're just playing great football. And I know we talked about it more yesterday, but it's been great to see so far. Today, looking ahead, Jimmy, we have your Auckland City FC against Boca Juniors. That's an interesting one. We'll see how many goals Boca can put past Auckland City. Benfica Bayern, which is, I think Sarah's going to be at that match today, actually, which is obviously a heavyweight tilt. We have LAFC against Flamengo and Esperance Chelsea. So another full day of action in the Club World Cup. You're covering a lot of football right now, Jimmy. I know you are. From CPL to Canada. Are you getting much time to watch Club World Cup at the moment?
Do you know, I've been watching a lot of the highlights, and then I do try to tune into matches when I can. But I definitely want to watch that Boca and Auckland today, because that's going to be an interesting match, considering how Boca needs so many goals.
I'm going to call Motel.
Auckland's going to just put everybody, 11 people, right across the line, and just put a barrier there and just see if they can keep it out and get peppered.
Well, the way it works is, so Bayern Munich are on 6 points. They're through. Benfica's in second place on 4 points. Boca's on 1 point. So if Bayern beat Benfica, Boca beat Auckland, it comes down to, well, head-to-head, right?
Yeah.
First of all, in this tournament, that's right. I get this in the Gold Cup mixed up.
And they drew. And
they drew. So it's goals 4, right? And currently it's 8 for Benfica. Boca has 3. So they need 6 goals today. Is that right? Is that the math? Is that correct? Sounds about right to me.
I think so.
Good enough. They need to score some goals, and they will. It's Auckland City FC. So
I'm going to call it Motel hat-trick.
He's been good, hasn't he?
One of my favorites from the tournament so far. I just wanted to add that what's made this tournament so compelling is not only the narratives that we've already discussed, like the regional kind of head-to-head battles, right? Where I think Europe walked in and expecting it to maybe be a walk in the park, or certainly the pundits did. But it's the 32 teams, and then like the last day, match day 3, and all the permutations in the group and how exciting it's been. You're going to lose that a little bit with the World Cup next year as you expand to 48, because you have the 8 best third place teams that progress, right? So you lose a little bit of that jeopardy.
100% you do. Another reason why 48 teams doesn't work. Prove me wrong, FIFA. Prove me wrong.
They just threw a boatload of cash on your desk to prove you wrong.
They proved me wrong.
That's why they did.
They have proved me wrong. I don't think that's going to happen, Dubs. I don't think yet we have the reach where we can buy the allegiance of certain football governing bodies. But hey, at this point, it wouldn't take much. It wouldn't need to be a boatload of cash. You know, it wouldn't need to be a briefcase, an envelope even. $50. And we'll say what you want. We'll say whatever you want.
No, stop it.
All right. Anyway, listen, anything else you want to add? Anyone? Or was that it for another day Jimmy mentioned.
Well, I was just looking at Auckland, and they've conceded 33 shots on net in 2 games.
The goalie's been great, right? The goalie's been player of the tournament. Just 16 against.
That's right. That? Well, he's
16 saves.
50%, 55% save.
Yeah.
But
decent.
He's being left out, hung out to dry. Maybe they'll make a change in goal because the guy's like threw a hamstring in.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, don't put me in again, Gaff. Please don't do it.
Yeah.
Jimmy mentioned highlights. If you can't watch the full games, we get it. There's a lot of games. You can catch the highlights also for free on DAZN.com. So make sure you just subscribe. It doesn't cost you a cent, and you get to watch a whole whack of soccer and some really massive games coming up the next 2.5 weeks or so. So that's been our Club World Cup mini pod on Footy Prime. We are back tomorrow, same time, same place. So until then, thanks so much.
Everybody, join the club. It's the Club World Cup on Footy Prime. Everybody, join the club. It's the Club World Cup on Footy Prime. Everybody, join the club. It's the Club World Cup on Footy Prime.
I don't know why I giggle all the time at that.
I know. You'll never get old.
It's so good. It's so catchy. And bonne Saint-Jean. À vous tous.
What?